Hi everybody, this is Diana from Sweet y Salado, and today we're going to make another version of Colombian tamales, which is tamales vallunos. These are very similar to the very first tamales that we made, except that these have pork meat and chicken as well. As always, the link for this recipe can be found at the end of the video and in the info box below. So just like with the other tamales, we're going to make our marinade. So in a blender, we're going to put our white onion, green onion, lots of garlic. We're also going to add some food coloring, salt, and pepper. And finally, we're going to add some water. We cover our blender and then we blend until everything is well blended. So here we have our pork meat. I'm using pork shoulder. You can use whatever kind of pork meat that you want. And we're going to divide it into 15 pieces because we're going to make 15 tamales. We're going to make our portions rather generous because these tamales are known for having big portions of meat. Then we're going to place our pork pieces in a Ziploc bag. You can also use a plastic or glass container. Then we're going to work on our pork belly, which needs to have the skin on and it has to have a lot of meat. And again, we're going to cut it into 15 pieces because we're making 15 tamales. Once we have our 15 pieces, we're going to place them in a resealable bag or in a plastic or glass container. And the last type of meat that we're going to use is chicken. I'm using drumsticks. You can use thighs, breast, wings, whatever you want. And we're also going to place them in a resealable bag or a glass or plastic container. Now we're going to pour our marinade in the plastic bags. We're going to divide it into 3 equal portions. Then we're going to seal our bags. Give it a good massage just to make sure that all of our meat is covered. And then we're going to refrigerate it overnight. These are the banana leaves that we're going to use for our tamales. I'm using frozen because that's easier for me, but you can also use fresh if that's easier for you. Then with a pair of scissors, we're going to cut our leaves into 20-inch pieces. After we cut our banana leaves into pieces, we're going to clean them very carefully on both sides with a wet rag or paper towel. And if you're using fresh leaves, you need to soften them on a low flame on your stove. And if you want to watch how it's done, in the first video that I made for tamales here on the channel, I show you how. So if you want to learn how to do it, I'm going to leave you the link for that video in the info box below. Now we're going to make our guiso or seasoned sauce. So in a large pan, we're going to pour some olive oil and then we're going to add some white onion. We're going to cook the onion on medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes or until it's translucent. Then we're going to add some chopped green onion. We're also going to add some garlic. Then we're going to add chopped bell pepper. Then we add a chicken bouillon, which is completely optional. We're also going to add some food coloring and salt and pepper to taste. Now we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes or until our red bell pepper softens, and then we're going to add our chopped tomato. We're going to reduce our heat to low, and then we're going to cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes. And if you notice that your sauce is a little bit dry, you can add a little bit of water. Our next step is to make our masa or dough. So in a large pot, we're going to add lots of water. We're going to add a chicken bouillon. And again, this is optional. We're also going to add food coloring. Then we're going to add some onion powder, garlic powder, and seasoned with salt. We're going to give this a stir. And then we're going to heat it up on medium heat. We're now going to let it boil. And now very slowly, we're going to add our cornmeal. This is pre-cooked cornmeal. And if you have any lumps, just make sure you get rid of them. Once our masa has an oatmeal consistency, we're going to add our peas. These are frozen, but you can also use fresh. And that's all we need to do for our masa. To assemble our tamales, we're going to need a couple of pieces of banana leaves. Some of them are going to be ripped, just like this. So what you need to do is place another piece right on top. And we're also going to make sure that the veins are going to be up. This is the smooth side, it needs to be down. So the underside needs to be up, and that's where we're going to place our masa. We're going to spread it out with our spoon. Now we're going to add our guiso. We're also going to add 1 small piece of Italian parsley. And then we're going to place our meat. This is our pork meat. This is our pork belly. And our drumstick. Another ingredient that we're going to add is potato slices. I have these soaking in salted water with food coloring. And we're just going to stick those into the dough. We're also going to add some carrot slices, and again, these have been soaking in salted water and food coloring, and we're going to place them in the dough as well. Now we're going to wrap our tamal, and for that, we're going to grab both sides of our banana leaves and place them right in the center. And then we fold over the bottom and the top to make a small packet. And to tie it all up, we're going to use some butcher string. Once we have all of our tamales ready, we're going to add some water into the largest pot that we can get our hands on. I'm using a tamalera, which is a special pot for making tamales. I also like to season my water with a little bit of salt, but that's optional. And then we're going to place a steaming rack right on the bottom. And finally, we're going to place our tamales one on top of the other. We're going to cook them on low heat for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, checking on the water every 30 minutes to make sure it doesn't dry up. And then, once they're ready, we're going to let them cool for a few minutes before serving. And that's your recipe for making tamales vallunos. If you enjoyed this video and this recipe, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel so you can be up to date with all the new videos that I upload in the future. And don't forget that you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and Google+. Thanks everybody for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye, and buen provecho!